Amber from for the position of vice chair for senior colleges.
Thank you. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay. So good afternoon to all my fellow delegates, alternates, and the CUNY community on the call. My name is Amber Rivero, and my pronouns are she, her, and hers. I'm running for Vice Chair of Senior College Affairs to create and implement a more inclusive and equitable CUNY for all students. I have had the opportunity to attend 2 senior colleges in the CUNY system, Medgar Evers and John Jay. As a former CUNY BA student, I was also introduced to other campuses in the CUNY system through e-permits, and the experience was vital to my understanding of the many commonalities that all senior colleges are plagued with at CUNY, but also how unique each of these campuses' issues are. If elected vice chair, I am committed to working with all CUNY students and student leadership to foster the best student life we see for our future. My vision is best described by the late Congresswoman Shirley Chisholm. If they don't give you a seat at the table, bring a folding chair. I remember my first introduction to student leadership at CUNY was through USS when I joined a rally outside Governor Cuomo's office in the freezing cold Christmas Eve 2018. While demanding a tuition freeze and more funding for CUNY in the cold Manhattan streets, I was also advocating for my final grade with a professor via email. I would say that was a pretty good icebreaker into the world of student advocacy and the many struggles that we face as CUNY students. During my first 2 years at CUNY, I was a recipient of the ASAP program, and it made such a huge difference in my success and ability to complete my associate's degree. Not long after I transferred to John Jay, it was clear to me how little support existed for transfer students at my new campus. Many students who transferred in sought a program or cohort to be a part of a community or just be supported. Sadly, there was nothing designed to support our success for transfer students, even though we make up 60% of John Jay's student population. As transfer representative on my student government last year, I fought tirelessly to create that community for transfer students and demand more resources and support from our administration. There was also a lack of inclusive and safe spaces on campus, and one initiative that I fought to advocate for alongside the LGBTQ+ student organization was the creation of the very first LGBTQ+ center at John Jay. We got the approval and space for the center, and post-COVID, it will be a new space for the LGBTQ+ community on campus. I am also a proud survivor of gender-based violence, and one of my first priorities when I was elected president was to do an examination of the CUNY Title IX draft policy that was being created in response to the DOE Title IX changes. With the group of 4 other students and the support of this USS administration, we were able to influence the policy to become more student-centric and survivor-centric for all CUNY campuses. There are too many student voices that are not being elevated across CUNY, and I am dedicated to hearing these experiences and obstacles and fighting tirelessly for the change that students deserve. I know what it feels like to experience housing insecurity and even not have fare for a MetroCard ticket to class. I know what it feels like to have a toxic home environment, but try your best to focus on classes so you can get out and make a new life for yourself. These experiences that left me feeling frustrated also motivated me to look for solutions, not only for myself, but for all students. Since being in student leadership, I've had the opportunity to successfully advocate on behalf of a variety of student interests by working closely to secure or address the following: fighting for support services that address transportation needs, the rising cost of tuition, food insecurity, and housing insecurity, resolving and eradicating hostile encounters with staff and faculty for marginalized students in the classroom and on campus, fighting to reform policies that are a hindrance to student success, ensuring a smoother transfer student transition into CUNY senior colleges and more transfer student support, and Title IX awareness and student-centric policy changes. The initiatives that I would prioritize as Vice Chair of Senior College Affairs are racial equity training for all CUNY faculty and staff, staff and admin being incentivized at every college to encourage a more socially aware and equitable environment for all students, expansion of ASAP and other programs to the senior colleges to increase graduation success and assist students with MetroCard access and book voucher needs beyond their first 2 years, demanding more transfer student focused programs and inclusion at our senior colleges, and a smoother transition of credits within the CUNY system, fighting for more funding, expansion of services, and student-centric policies within childcare centers to create more support for our students that identify as parents, focus on gender equity in the CUNY system from the trans student experience in the classroom to more gender-neutral bathrooms and spaces, advocating for more mental health services with priority to students affected by the pandemic and the lack of racial justice, and not only at the expense of students, so no mental health and wellness fee, and creating more undergraduate faculty-sponsored research opportunities for undergraduate students at all campuses. We are all unique and have differing needs, but deserve the same experience without having to fight for it. This will be a year unlike any other, But for all the challenges that lie ahead of us, I could not be more hopeful about the power of our community as student leaders. I am committed to revolutionizing inclusivity for a student-centric and equitable CUNY. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.